Cool. All right. So what we're going to go through is just real fast. I don't want to take a whole lot of time, but I just want to go through the updates that we're going to be making and some of the ones we're considering now based off the feedback that you guys provided. Okay. So first thing is from the survey answers. These are things that we're going to look into because this was some feedback that we were given. So we're going to look at adding the nutrition information into the name condition stuff. So basically, I have some information, like if somebody comes in and they have headaches, for example, this is one that I remember. So if somebody has headaches and maybe we're working with them and we're not getting the results that we want to get with them, there are 5 different nutrients basically that can cause, if you're lacking in, that can cause headaches. So we can look at that and just go, hey, maybe if you try eating, a grape, it'll help get rid of your headaches, right? Because the grape is maybe something that has that particular nutrient in it or whatever. So we're looking at that. I've had that information for a little bit, but we're looking at adding that in at some point, possibly. All right. These are all possible things that we're going to put in. So if you guys want to, you can actually maybe send me something on I think I got 4 or 5 things right here. If one of these jumps out like, oh yeah, that would be really nice. You could send me something that says, hey, or we can talk right after this and you guys can let me know. Why don't we do that? That'll be much easier because then I can get the feedback. So write down something out of this list if you find it could possibly be useful for you. All right. So we got the nutrition information. We got adding the flip chart pages possibly in. Providing a list of conditions that go with each organ treatment, because we have the information, but we don't have it in the brain. We have it in the book, but we don't necessarily have it in the brain as far as organizing it that way. So that's something that maybe you click on click on a group of nerves, like here's an organ treatment. And then what would this treat, for example, something like that. That's how I'm seeing it. I liked this idea right here. Info on how to integrate this into your practice better. I really liked this idea. So I'm actually going to put this together because you're going to see at the end, I'm going to have a protocol that I think people should follow because you're going to it's going to end up generating a little bit more money for you. I'll put it that way. So, but I have to get into it and I'll show you. So, oh, and then do you guys have to do this? Do you have to click I accept all the time?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Kelly
Sometimes.
does.
Yes.
Sometimes.
So, okay. So I'm gonna ask my guy if we can, instead of this as things we're looking into, I'm gonna see if we can't fix that because I notice it if I try and get in through different web browsers, but I don't know that I necessarily need to do it each and every time through the same web browser. But yeah, I'm going to talk to him about that for sure. Okay, so that's one for sure that we'll try and address. All right, I don't know if there's another one. Let me see. No. All right, so these are upgrades that are definitely going to happen. All right, this is definitely going to happen in the brain. So we're going to add the thoracic postures in so that we can determine the organ treatment. So I have finally figured out the dichotomous key for the organs and how we can go through and look at the postures and add in the thoracic information and figure out. So what we're looking at is when we go through the brain, it's going to give us a primary treatment, a secondary treatment, and then an organ treatment. And within the organ treatment, it may give us a primary and a secondary organ treatment as well. Okay. So, but that's what we're getting into. So we won't have to know that the person has X condition anymore. We can say, hey, let's just look at your postures, and then it's going to tell us what treatment we need to do.
Great.
We're going to make it easier to so that you can either email the information to yourself and then print it, or we're going to have a print button for when you go through and do an eval and everything, you can just print it. And
nice.
So that'll be, that'll save some time, but you're going to see in a minute, you're going to want to email some of this stuff probably to your patient. And then I've had people send me stuff over time, and I have collected those emails. I've kept those emails. So if anybody sent me information like, hey, this is wrong, this is, this picture doesn't look right, this spelling is wrong, whatever, I looked into all that. And so we've got a list of things that we're going to clean up, I guess, on there. So now let's get into the part that I am extremely excited about. Okay. This is the part that I am so excited about. Okay. We are going to, now this is what I originally wanted to do. And there's a second section that I originally wanted to do, but the technology was not there. It was like, yeah, it's out there, but you're going to have to pay like buku dollars to make it work. And I was like, yeah, I can wait. We don't have to, go too crazy right now. So this first portion, now we can do it. It's not, I mean, it's, still going to cost, but it's not going to be like, a leg. So, but then there's this second portion. I'm not going to tell you what the second portion is. I'll tell you that when we can do it, but that's going to be another upgrade, and it's going to be so cool as well. But here's the good one right now. So we are going to be able to go in and take a picture and draw a plumb line. Okay. Ooh. And then from that plumb line, we will be able to go in and place dots. Now we'll be able to blow the picture up so that you can get right on the spot that we're wanting to put a dot. Okay. And then the brain, we're going to hit calculate, and the brain is going to say, well, the shoulders are off, the scapula are off, this scapula is too far out, this one's too far in. Okay. But not just that. I said, can we put a grid behind it? Electronic grid. I don't want to have to put something on the wall. Can we have an electronic grid? Yes. Can we, within the grid, put, let's just say 10 lines. I'm throwing out numbers, 10 lines this way, 10 lines this way. So now we can say, hey, the left shoulder is in box 4, line 5, and the right shoulder is in box 3, line 9. So now we can say, hey, to the patient, it's going to give us a report. The shoulders are 6 degrees off. Now, after 6 treatments, and this is where the brain's going to start making you some money, is we're going to say every 6 treatments, we have to do a re-eval. We're going to retake the pictures. It's going to recalculate, and then it's going to say, here was day 1, and here was visit 1, and here was visit 7, right? Or after visit 6 or whatever. And now look at the differences. And you'll be, and this part will be written out so that you can say, look, your shoulders were 6 degrees off. Now they're 3 degrees off. We're making progress, so let's keep going. And now the patient is going to feel, oh yeah, this is going to be good, right? Because they can see the difference. So we can do that from the back. Now I'm putting a lot of dots on here. We may not have to put this many dots, and we may not be checking because I've duplicated some of the postures that we can see from the front, from the side, from the back, whatever. And then we'll determine which is the best view to get those. So some of these I've duplicated some of the postures that we're looking at. But here's from a side view. So this, of course, is my dad. He's standing up pretty straight, but you can see his ear is not where it should be, right? And so we're going to have to make, the other thing we're going to have to do is have a little bit of a standard of how far away do we need to be to take the picture. We need to be 4 foot away or, whatever. And we'll come up with those standards like, okay, you got to be this far away and then take the picture. And then you got to draw the plumb line, and I'll show you where to draw the plumb lines. This plumb line should be right in front of the anterior ankle. And then everything should be in line from that. And anything that's off is off. So then we can go in and go, okay, and we can blow it up and go, okay, I need to put a dot in his ear, right? I need to put a dot on the lateral portion of his shoulder, lateral portion of his elbow, lateral portion of his knee, and his lateral ankle. And then that's going to give me how he's standing right there, right? And then calculate, and it'll say, okay, this is where his postures are with degrees and everything. Now I'm going to show you my mom. Here's my mom. Is it any wonder that she has neck and upper back pain, right? Her neck and upper back are constantly trying to keep her upright. And so that's why she has pain there. I showed that to her and she was like, well, fix it. I was like, well, come on, Mom. So now, we've got front view, back view, side view. So we have to do both sides, right? Because you got a left and a right side. So there's 4 pictures, okay? And again, I'm duplicating some postures in here just to see. But then we're gonna have to get the hands. So we can get just a front view of the hand, add some dots. Again, I'm putting a lot of dots in here. I don't know if we have to put all these dots, but I'm putting them in there. And then we can get a side view of the hand to tell us some more things here. We got a foot view. And then we may have to come from up to get the toes, you know, like an adducted toe, because I don't know that we're going to be able to get it from this angle. So that may be. So right now we're looking at 4 views for the body, 2 for the hands, and 1 for the foot. But we may have to add another one for the foot. So what I'm trying to do is not have too many pictures and not have too many dots, right? That's what I'm trying to prevent. But what this would do is it would help standardize, I think, the postural analysis, because now all you got to do is blow the picture up and put the dot in the ear, you know, put the dot on the shoulder. But then you're going to have objective findings that you can now pass on to the patient and say, okay, here's where you are. You're this many postures are this far off. Let's start balancing these things. And so that's what's coming. That's what I'm so absolutely excited about. All right. So that's it for this presentation. I'm going to stop it right here. You guys hang on for a second. I'm just going to stop the recording. Okay. And I have no idea. There it is. Stop recording. Here we go.